Today marks 1417 days share lessons to learn and continue to learn with you. Well, I hope these insights will inspire you, support your dreams, help achieve your goals, and really empower you to become the person that you want to become. Today I speak again about different ways of living and different paths that a person could live to live a joyful and beautiful life. I think sometimes we can get lost because we believe that there's only one path, only one way of living our own life. But I think that when you start to realize that there's so many compatibilities with different kind of lifestyles with you and that could make you peaceful, joyful, and grateful, I think that gives you freedom to try, freedom to test, freedom to really align your life with your values. Because I think that sometimes we could believe that there's one path and this is one path is only for us. But when you start to realize that okay, like there's totally different paths for me to really succeed, to achieve my success, achieve the greatness in my way, that means I'm able to really, if something doesn't align fully, okay, that means that, okay, so it doesn't align, that means that I didn't find true life for myself. I'm able to really build myself again, to really to become the person I need to be, to really for that new path. Because beautiful thing is when you think about building a new way of living, a new path, that means that we'll need to build ourselves to really live in that new way of living, in the new path. I think sometimes that's just the main reason why people don't change the paths, because when you change the path, you need to change who you becoming and who you are as a person right now. And today we'll share again what we're able to consider, what we're able to consider when we're really thinking about joyful path, a new way of living. The sources of meaning in life, I think that's again one of the most important thing about when you think about life and joyful life is meaning. Having that meaning, I think that meaning really makes every suffering, every joy even more beautiful. And you have that feeling of fulfillment, of joy, of bliss, and those emotions are coming from meaning. And I think that meaning is where the purpose is born. And I think that when you think about meaning, I think that a lot of times you need to really start with the word of connection. Connection, I think that is one of the foundational things of purpose, of meaning. And this connection is that it leads us in so many different directions. Connection to yourself, so authenticity, being able to like self-expression, healing, growth, transformation, all those things are connection to yourself. There is connection to others. So love, service, teaching, adding value to other people, community, family, all those things really are showing it in our life. We need to connect to ourselves, we need to connect to others, connect to the world, and connect to the world is most likely with our own giftedness or way of expressing ourselves. And then that means that creativity, exploration, nature, culture, it depends how every single person wants to really explore and really represent themselves, and those are the things that we could potentially do. And I think that's that's for some people even the most important thing, connection to infinite, and that's spirituality, philosophy, legacy, transcendence, philosophy, all those things that really goes beyond, above and beyond, really able to really understand that there's much more than you. So the first foundational thing when I think about really have source of meaning in our life is connection. And connection, as I said, we discussed that already, connection to yourself, connection to others, connection to the world, and connection to the infinite. Those connections already make our life foundation very strong. And then after that, we can really build something important on that. Second thing that I want to really is the modes of joy. The modes of joy, and I think there's so many ways to find joy. There's one way. There's so many ways. And I think that we're able to really live that joy daily. I think that sometimes we live a life waiting and anticipating something good event in the future. And that's great. That's great to anticipate, have an anticipation for big event, for a beautiful one. But I think that we need to really make sure that we have that daily portions of joy. And what we're able to really, what are those daily joys? It's vital joys. And that means that we're able to look into our embodiment, our vitality, our health, our energy, our movement, That's just very, very important, because when you have those, you have a joy. I think when you have health, you have a joy. Sometimes we don't see this joy. I think that when you lose the health and then you get the health back, at that moment you understand how joyful it is to have health. How joyful it is to not to feel pain. How joyful it is to have energy to do the things that you want. Second, joy is creative. And I think that every single day, this is those choices every single day, that creative joy could be expression of yourself, invention, beauty making. Every single day you're able to create beauty, invent something. Of course, that could be a choice to do something. But I think that that could bring massive joy, because every single person could be creative if they wanted to. Sometimes people give up their ability to create. And of course, I understand that some people are more creative, some people are less creative, but every single person is creative. And that means that if every single person is creative, then we ask, in what way I am creative? Every single person need to ask that, because every single person is creative in different way. And this is the joy. Joy is to really create. I truly believe that. Number 3 is relation joy. And that means that laughter, intimacy, belonging, togetherness, all those things that really allows us to really spend time with people that you love, that you care about. I think this is a beautiful thing when we are able to really look into joy of a relation, joy. That every single day we are able to really do something. And I think that sometimes we can really create joy just by reaching out and nurturing that relationship. There's a beautiful joy in that. Even our self-nurturing relationship with yourself is a joy when you really develop that and deepen understanding of other person, of yourself. And this is part of connection with infinite. There's a relationship with everything around you, and this again could create a lot of joy. At the same time, we're able to have a quiet joy. I think we have those extroverts and introverts, people who want to really have that interaction with people to really get energy. And some people just want to have a quiet joy, that peace, presence, mindfulness, and I think that's and simplicity. But I think that quiet joy for introverts could be that solitude, being by themselves and then enjoying the moment. But for extroverts, being able to really have that moment when you are fully present, because you can really speak with other person but not be fully present. That means you're speaking with the person, trying to listen, but your mind is elsewhere, and have that quiet joy, quiet your mind, that you're able to be fully present, fully engaged with this person. I think that is a true joy, because if you are somewhere else, not with the person, that means that something is bothering you. That means that there is no joy in be bothered. So I think that being able to be mindful, present with a person and any kind of relationship, I think that's like a beautiful joy. And I think that last joy that I want to mention is transcendent joy, as all wonder, spiritual experience. And I think that is beautiful. I always experience that wonder or awe when I really have a beautiful day. Sometimes there's a wind, sometimes there's no wind, but when you look at the skies, look into beautiful clouds shapes, and then you go into nature, you look into lakes, rivers. There's so many amazing places that is. I'm still amazed how nature are able to create beautiful, beautiful places. And I think there's more things we can look into, even other people performing the highest level, like singing, dancing. Like there's so many places to really find that wonder if we able to look for it. And when we look for it, we find, and then of course it's a massive, massive joy. Number 3 that I want to really look into is that the paths of becoming. How the life unfolds. And I think that every single person, and sometimes people call in the roles, but we're able to look into what kind of person we're able to call ourselves, what kind of identity could we put on ourselves, and what kind of identity do you want to build. And I think that those are the identities that we're able to really choose on ourselves. For example, the builder. And the builder is not who builds houses, even though that could be, but the builder who constructs families, constructs something that lasts. I don't think that, of course, a business, it could be art, something that you build and you really say, I want to be a builder in this life. This is my legacy. I want to be a builder. I want to be known for the things that they build. I think it's a beautiful thing. Second is a seeker. That means that person who explores, who is adventurous, who wants to have a legacy who questioned things, who learned, who traveled, who wondered. Like I think that is a person who really said that I want to be that person who traveled, who explored, who really find things, learn things, builds wisdom. And I think that is necessary. I wouldn't probably every single person is a little bit of seeker, but maybe you want to have a legacy of seeker. That means that you even go above and beyond and you leave everything behind and you become seeker. And I think that that's not every single person would choose that, but there are some amazing people who choose to be seekers, and that's what their legacy is. Number three is the healer, and that healer is a person who eases the suffering, who restores and nurtures people. I think this is very, very important path to choose. For a person to be a healer, is not every single person could be healer, because of course, if you want to be a healer, you need to heal your own wounds. And when you heal your own wounds, you're able to be a healer. And I think that what I like is that sometimes people think that something disqualifies them, but what I learned from Ed Milet is that most things that you feel that you disqualifies most time is that's the same thing is that qualifies you the most to do the things necessary to be done. The next path that you can really be creator, and that means that images, innovators, expresses, all the things that you potentially could create for other people to use. Even Steve Jobs, I think that was creator. He created new ideas. He was inventor. He was innovator. And I think that there is again based on a person. I think that some people say like, I'm very creative and I want to do something with that. I want to be creator. I want to be known for that. And this is my path. Other people maybe just the leader, because you might be the not creator, but you're able to lead. So you're able to really lead other people who are creators, inspire people to really move towards or organize and drive change, influence people for the better, and understand that okay, like I bring this kind of person, I bring this creator, I bring this builder, and sometimes a leader could really bring all those different kind of path seekers and really move towards some big achievements. It could be like mystic, a person who is very, very silent. Maybe they want to live in the middle of nowhere and have that their own time. They have silence, and that's inner peace is the most important thing, and that's all they need, and that's the path for them, and that's totally fine. It could be the rebel. I think that could be as well. It's quite common that a person's like, I just don't like how things are done. I want to change. I want to improve. I want to make things better, and breaking patterns and redefines what true freedom means. And I think that is a great. So a rebel could be not aggressively, but doing the right things. I think that one of the best way to really be a rebel is lead by example. So that means doing the right thing in the right way will dictate how other people will do it as well. So like I think that is when you do the right thing and you do not complain about other people are more inclined to jump on board and really do the right thing as well. And then I think there's of course much more of those paths, but I think that we need to understand okay, what kind of name I could put on my life that's going to be builder, seeker. What is that's your path supposed to be? Because I think that when you really choose your job, sometimes we have that role set on us. But when you really say that I'm a seeker, I'm a builder, this kind of person, what kind of things and lifestyle I needed to build around to really be that kind of person? I think that's is much easier to really live a joyful life. And there is so many infinite combinations between all of them, like how you pursue your joy, how you pursue the person identity, how in what way do you do it. So when you think about it, it's infinite. I think that it's again, it gives you freedom to really change. And I think that it is a beautiful thing when we're able to consider our life not as rigid, but is moldable, flexible, bendable. And when you see yourself the same way, because you are able to become the person that you want to become, and sometimes the person that you want to become is so far away. When you have that massive vision that you have set for yourself, but when you're willing to do the right thing, I think everything is possible. So I hope you choose to win, and see you tomorrow.